Yo, what's up YouTube? Tigz here, bringing you guys another Escape from Tarkov guide video. In today's guide video, we're actually going to be doing the Laboratories Keycard guide. This is going to include detailed information about the keys, which one's the best, how to get them, and all sorts of stuff like that. So let's quickly talk about the most important thing. Laboratories. Labs is like one of the only maps right now, other than Shoreline, that has a dynamic loot table. What does that mean? The dynamic loot table was added in last wipe, but it was kind of a cancelled system that BSG bailed on. But it is still a very good system for the map, and what that basically means is you're going to be able to find a lot of LEDXs in these rooms, a lot of graphics cards, a lot of teapots, bitcoins, GP coins, and all of these high value items that will consistently spawn on Labs. This makes Labs the best money map, and in my opinion, Labs is actually in a really good spot now because of that. There is obviously RNG involved. Like, for example, I got 4 LEDXs the other week on Laboratories. That's happened to me once this entire wipe. And I have found multiple triple LEDX raids in the past as well as triple graphics cards. Because if you guys didn't know, PCs on Labs now also spawn graphics cards again, which is really, really good for making money. And there's around 45 PCs on Labs that you can loot in total. We're going to leave that for another time, though. We're talking about the key card strictly for this. So I just wanted to quickly explain the dynamic loot table to you. So set loot of spawns. There's going to be, GPUs, LEDXs, GP coins, bitcoins, and stuff like that. It will rotate in between those items in these dynamic loot spawns. They don't move around, they're set spawns, but they dynamically rotate that loot. So what that means is basically you can't just get like suppressors and stuff like that randomly pop up. It's always going to be the same set pieces of loot that are in that table. So I hope that can clear up any confusion for you guys. Now let's talk about the keys. What keys are the best? So in my opinion, I think Black Card is the best key card in the game. And honestly, if you can get this key, you've literally got the best key in the game, man. It is insane, guys. So let me give you a quick brief of what you can get in there. And I will show you a run later on just to give you an example. So you get ophthalmoscopes, which is really useful for your quest or therapist and quests, obviously. And then you can get LEDXs, which are also for quests and barter trades for thick cases and many other items. LEDXs are obviously very rare, and they're around 1 million each. They're very, very common in Black Room. If I was to give you guys an estimate on how often I see them, I'd say once every 4 raids on average, maybe once every 5. It is a little bit of RNG, of course, but that would be my experience in playing Labs for the past 2 wipes with this new change. And honestly, guys, I'd say on average, you'll probably see around 7 stims per run in Black Room, which makes it very, very consistent money, which is very, very good in a wipe like this. You're going to constantly be coming out with the big stims like Melatonin, ETG, and mule stims, and also SJ6s. These stimulants go from anywhere from 40,000 rubles all the way up to 100,000 rubles, and they consistently spawn inside Black Room. Another thing to note, Black Room is also very good for your samples quest. So if you want to get your samples quest done, getting your hands on this key is going to help you out a ton. And yeah, so that is pretty much Black Room covered. How we're going to get the Black Room key. So luckily, if you've got your traders leveled, guys, it's going to be very easy for you guys to get this. Well, not easy, but you're going to be, have access to it. Obviously, getting this earlier on in the wipe is going to be much more advantageous to you because you're going to be one of the few first people to buy it. So pretty much, come to mechanics, scroll all the way down. As you can see, out of stock. Global stocks, they suck, I know. I wish they weren't in the game, but they are, and there's not much we can do about it. So, how do you get this? Basically, the best way to do this, guys, is by logging onto the game when the game has the least amount of players online and wait for a reset. I know a few people have done this, and it is much easier to be able to get the barter trade, as a lot of people also are trying to buy it. But if you log onto the game, have all your items ready, and try and trade it when it's less people on. The best way to give an example of that is let's say in America it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's when there's going to be very few people online, and that's around when EU starts to wake up. So you have a little bit of a window to stop trying to get the key card on the resets. If that doesn't work, then don't worry, I've got a few other alternatives for you. I highly recommend you do this through the flea market and not through this trader menu, as the timers aren't accurate. You can actually do it faster through the flea market, so that's also another tip. Another tip for you guys is, if you wanted to be patient, wait for the game to go down for maintenance, as when the game goes down for maintenance, that opens up an opportunity of where no one's on the game, and that means you can pretty much get on Tarkov, no one's trying to get the barter trade, and you can get the key card just like that. I know many people have done the same thing as well. But yeah, pretty much, guys, it is a decent bit of RNG, but if you apply those tips that I gave you, I guarantee you'll get it. Trust me. I advise this to a lot of people in my chat, and it helps them out a ton. Obviously, you could buy this from the flea market, but it's a bit of a complicated barter trade nowadays with people selling it. but this is probably the most reliable way to get it. I will show you guys some of the spawn points for this key card if you're trying to farm it manually without going on the flea market later on in the video, but we'll come back to that, and that applies to all the other keys. So that is Ble Key Card covered. Best key in the game without a doubt. This is the #1 key in Tarkov in my opinion. Now, moving on to yellow card, which is my second favorite key in my opinion. I think yellow card is without a doubt one of the best keys as well that you can pick up for labs for its price. It is around 200k all the way up to 300k that I've seen myself. This is very, very cost effective. A quick brief explanation about yellow room. There is a PC in there which gives you a chance at graphics cards, 2 dynamic loot spawns on the chairs for GPUs and LEDXs, which are pretty common. And there is some weapon attachment spawns in there as well. And a cabinet if you want to, you know, check the cabinet as well. I don't typically do it. And you can get some stimulants on the floor next to the cabinet, but they're pretty rare. I have got some suppressors and scopes from there in the past. Another thing to know about yellow, you can actually press the button, which I'll show you later on in the video, to turn off the alarm for hangar and parking radar announcer, which can help you out sometimes if you're trying to be stealthy when farming raiders and you don't want to alert people on the map. So yeah, that is pretty much yellow key card. Very good key. Has 2 dynamic loot spawns for 200k. It's widely available on the market. Not a problem to get at all. And I will show you the spawn for this as well, like I said earlier on about black card. Moving on now, I think Violet is probably in 3rd place for the best key. This is a bit of a controversial one between the two. I see a lot of other streamers say the opposite. Now, the reason why I think Violet is better than green is because you can consistently make good money outside the dynamic loot spawns. And what does that mean? So, once you go into Violet, there's going to be two green weapon crates, which can spawn armors, red rebels, tiger melee weapons, all of these very rare melee weapons. It can spawn any armor in the game, I'm pretty sure. Helmets, attachments, ammunition, magazines. There's also a black crate in there that can always spawn an MRE if you need food, as well as other attachments as well. There is multiple Bitcoin spawns in there, GP coin spawns, an RFI reader spawn, and a wireless transmitter spawn. There is a cabinet in there. There is vases, and there is also there is 2 dynamic loot spawns, but there's kind of 3 with the Bitcoin, which I'll explain to you later on in the video. So yeah, that is pretty much why I value Violet over green card, because you can consistently make more money from Violet every time you hit it than you could from green. So that is the Violet key card. If you would like to buy this, you can pick this up for around 4 million. I will show you the spawns in game, like I said previously, later on in the video. So yeah, Violet, in my opinion, 3rd place without a doubt. You can actually pick this up for around 2 mil early wipe too if you buy it. I highly recommend it. It goes very, very cheap early on. Moving on now to the green card. Green card honestly used to be one of the best key cards in the game. Unfortunately, it's very, very hard to get your hands on a green card. They are very, very rare. Similar to the black card, to be able to find these guys, you got to be very, very lucky. They are super, super rare to get for some reason. I think it's ever since BSG changed the dynamic loot spawns for these, they got really, really nerfed in terms of spawn rate. So, Green Room. Why is Green Room so good? If you guys didn't know, Green Room also has 3 dynamic loot spawns, which is amazing for getting LEDXs and graphics cards, as well as Bitcoins and all the other high-value items. They're all right next to each other, which is perfect. We'll show you in a second when we get in raid. So, there is 3 dynamic loot spawns. There is multiple stimulant spawns in there. There is another food crate with attachments as well. There is attachment spawns inside green, just like Violet, like loose ones like suppressors and scopes, and also ammunition. There is a black key card spawn inside Green Room as well, if you guys didn't know. Not many people know that. I will show you that too. There is 2 intelligent spawns inside Green Room. Now, the intelligent spawns are a big one. If intelligence spawned like they used to, Green Room will be better than Violet. But I very, very rarely find intelligent spawns inside Green Room now, as they're very, very rare. So that is why it is put behind the Violet card. But yeah, that is pretty much the room, guys. There is also a LEDX spawn that spawns there normally, like the OG spawn inside the tin. I haven't found it this way, but I've heard reports that people have found it. But I think it is very, very rare. And if you're going to buy the key card for that LEDX spawn, you're not going to see it, guys, honestly. Unless you play a ton of labs. And the availability of the green card is very, very rare. And I will show you the spawns for those too. They only spawn on labs, unfortunately. You can get them inside your scav case, just like all the other keys as well, if you didn't know. As far as I know, you can get it from the 95k scav case and the intelligent scav case. Personally, I found green and black from Intel, as well as yellow. Now, moving on to blue card. Okay, actually, no. I need to swap these around. I don't know why blue was there. My bad. Sorry, moving on to red card. Now, red card and blue card, in my opinion, guys, for their price, they're absolutely not worth it. Red card sells around 50 million rubles. which is ridiculous in my opinion. You're never going to make your money back, especially if you're a casual and you somehow manage to get your key on this. I play this game almost every day for 7 hours, and even then, it's really hard to make your money back on this key. But I'll explain some things. It's not all bad. So there's a low chance to get Bitcoin spawns and GP coin spawns inside the cage of Red Room. There is a stimulant spawns in there and a decent bit of attachments. But the attachments that spawn in there now, as well as the ammo spawns, are very, very bad. The guns that spawn in there are very rare too and don't really come with any good attachments. There is a SOPOD M4 that you can strip down, but that is also very rare, unfortunately. In my opinion, if I were you guys, I would completely skip red card as well as the blue key card, as these key cards are not worth. I will talk about the blue key card in just a second, don't worry. So let me quickly talk about the 2 dynamic loot spawns that are inside Red Room. There's actually 3 dynamic loot spawns, guys, my bad. There's 2 right next to each other on the shelf, and then there's 1 on the smaller shelf, which I'll show you. These can also spawn LEDXs, graphics cards, etc, etc. That is the only good thing that you can find inside the Red Room, unfortunately. And everything else in there, the chance of you making your money back on this key card is going to be ridiculous. You're going to have to do so much grinding. So if I were you guys, skip on red card. It is not worth it. Unless you're a labs main and you know you're going to just farm the hell out of labs, then go for it. But it's very, very expensive and you're not really going to make your money. If you find this, I would just sell it and invest the money into all these cards right here. Now, blue card. BSG were actually going to look at buff and blue card. Buff never came, unfortunately. From my test on this wipe, it's actually not as bad as people make it out to be. There is some stimulant spawns in there. I have got a few mule stims and ETGs and stuff like that from Blue Room. They are scattered all around, which I will show you. But on average, guys, you're probably going to get like 1 to half a stim a raid, if you can even average that. It's pretty rare to get consistent stims from here. I have gone in there and got like 3 to 4 in the past, but other than that, guys, it's not really worth it. This key card is very, very expensive as well. If you can buy it, I've seen it sell for upwards of like 10 million. And the availability of it as well is pretty rare for some odd reason. They need to fix the spawn rates with the blue key card, as this card is just absolutely worthless. Another thing to know about blue card, there is a LEDX spawn. I saw it once in the very first week of the wipe, and I've done 1,500 raids since then and have not seen it in the Blue Room. And I've checked it pretty much every single time. So that is my take on all of the key cards. That's my like tier list, I guess. Now there is a few more things you need to know about labs. There is the actual keys, manager's office, arsenal storage key, weapon testing, and yeah, sorry, that's already there. These keys I recommend picking up anyway because they're very, very good and they're very cheap. 46,000 rubles, 30,000 rubles, and 39,000 rubles. These 2 keys here are the big ones to note. These also are very, very good. Manager's office, if you guys didn't know, has 3 intel spawns. Has a safe, which is really, really good for loot. And has sometimes the occasional lion that spawns under the table, which is really, really nice. I highly recommend you pick this up. Very good money. There's also 2 PCs in there to get graphics cards. Found them a bunch this wipe. Now, weapon testing. Weapon testing has 2 dynamic loot spawns. Without a doubt, this key is so worth your money, guys. It is so cheap for what it spawns. I've found so many LEDXs and GPUs from this room in the past. It is very, very worth. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is confirmed, but I think it has been slightly nerfed since then. But it is still a very good key, as it does spawn guns, attachments, and weapon crates in there also. So, I highly recommend you pick that up. Now, the arsenal storage key. This key is obviously going to go in par with the red card. You can buy it if you want to, with the odd chance that someone's open red and forgot to loot the cage. That is completely up to you. I would if I were you. It's dirt cheap. Why the hell not? Chances are you're not going to really use it much, but hey, it's only 30k. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much the keys covered. There is another key that I'm not really too interested in talking about, but I will anyway, just for the sake of the video, because I know people will ask. It is the key with the blue marking. Now, the key with the blue marking is a one-time use key. It was actually new 2 wipes ago in the game. It used to be very good for spawning stimulants, and it is still pretty decent. I will show you guys later on. You can get off-limoscopes from here, and you can sometimes get a Bitcoin and a Tetris from the jacket, and some rare keys if you're lucky inside the room. I recommend only buying this key, guys, if you are in search of the sample stimulants for the quest, as it is very expensive, and this is probably going to be the most consistent way you can farm them without having black or green card. So that is pretty much my take on this card. It is pretty nerfed, but you can get the occasional decent stims in there, but it is very expensive, and chances are you won't make your money back on this key. So we've covered the keys now. That's my take on all of the keys in the game. Choice is up to you if you want to buy these, and let me know in the comment section what you think about my opinion on them. That would be great. And yeah, so we've covered that now. We're going to go into a raid, and I'm going to quickly show you all of the spawns for black and green card. and yellow. And then we're going to move on to the other cards later on in the video. And then I'm also going to explain this key card as well and show you the loot in the room. So yeah, let's move on to that. So guys, we're back into the raid now. Let's quickly start talking about the keys. So first of all, the key that we're going to be using is the blue marking key. I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like. All you do, come opposite green room, open this like so, come on in and then check the shelves on your right. Get yourself some meds. Sometimes you get yourself some CMSs and circuits. Stimulants spawn all along this desk. As you can see, there's a P22 right there. Abdolos. Check the jacket for loot. Some cigarettes. And that is pretty much the Sanitar's room. Stimulants pretty much spawn all along the shelf, all along here, on this chair, all along this side, and all along there. And that is pretty much the Sanitar's room. As you can see, not really the best loot. But, you know, if you're trying to get samples done, this can definitely help you out. Alright, so moving on to green room now. Coming over to green, swipe the key card, come on in. Just a note, you can only open this door. You cannot open this one, unfortunately. You can open both of these as a little tip if you're trying to PvP. Come on in, there's going to be some spawns on the desk here. Pretty rare. All along the shelf, there'll be stimulant spawns as well. There is kind of a dynamic loot spawn here with the Raven and gold chains occasionally. Get yourself some painkillers here too and stimulants. Rotate around here. There's a stim spawn there. Now, this is the big one. This is where the Ble Key Card spawns right here, guys, just in case you didn't know. All you want to do is swing all along here. There's an intel spawn here. Very rare spawn. Check all of this. On the table can spawn a stim as well. Very, very commonly, I find a stim here. Same on this part of the table. These spawns are really rare. The old LEDX spawn is inside this tin. I haven't seen it myself, but it apparently still does spawn there. Stims in that bottom part of the shelf. Stimulant here. Stimulant on the shelf here. And can spawn on the floor as well, if you didn't know. All along here, there is another spawn. And along these shelving units, like so. There's an intel spawn right there. And you can occasionally get some spawns here too. So the big ones that you're going to be looking for are the dynamic loot spawns, guys. So first of all, dynamic loot spawn right here. Come over to this spot, there'll be one on the floor there. Teapot, that's also another one. And that is pretty much the dynamic loot spawns in here. You can actually get a Bitcoin here. I'm not sure if that's dynamic, but there's also a spawn. The attachment spawns are right here, obviously, with the ammo, like I said earlier on. Here's the food crate that always spawns the food. This is pretty much the same for all boxes on labs. Stimulants along here and along there. And along there. And that is the green room covered, guys. Alright, guys, so now we're coming up to black room. What we want to do is swipe the key card. A little tip for you guys. You can actually swipe cards from both sides if you didn't know. You can also come through these double doors as well and open it from this side. Come on in. Another thing a lot of you guys probably don't know either, you can actually shoot through these windows now. So that is very important to know as well if you are getting in a PvP scenario. Straight away, what we're going to do is we're just going to scan all along here like so. Look for the spawns. There is stimulant spawns in here. I think I got a bug spawn somewhere. I'm pretty sure I did. Well, there is a spawn here, but I'm pretty sure it's like stuck in the ground. This happens sometimes in offline raids, but it'll spawn like around here. There's also a spawn there. All of these spawn points, by the way, guys, can actually spawn LEDXs as well inside back room, if you didn't know. Everywhere that I'm aiming, you'll be able to see. There's Augustine. You can check this as well for the occasional morphine and propital. On this chair from many LEDXs. Coming into here. All along the floor. And on the bed. Come out to here. Check the chair. They can also spawn here as well. And on this bed. In this room, we're pretty unlucky. We got like what? I mean, we got decent. We got a meal sim that's around 100k. So that's pretty solid. I'd say that wasn't a bad black room. Obviously not what we wanted. But yeah, that is pretty much the black room, guys. So I hope that helps. Black, definitely the best key card in the game. Okay, so now moving on to the green card spawn, the first one of the labs raid. Green card can actually spawn right here, guys. This is the most common spawn there, so make sure you keep your eye out for that when running around laboratories. There's a LEDX spawn on the shelf, which I always like to check so I don't have to open up blue room. You come over to the blue room, open it up. Give you a little trick here if you didn't know. You can open this little hatch, someone's camping here, and throw a grenade through if you want to. Not many people know about that. Little handy trick. And you can also do the same on the way out. So you coming in, there'll be USD spawns and a stim on this table. Stim spawn here and there. Coming into here. Check the Letty spawn. The bandage spawn, and on here it can also spawn stimulants. As you can see, we got a stim right there, a 3TGB. That'll be helpful for the samples quest. There's also a spawn on the back shelf here. On the bed, another box. H2O, pretty cheap. I will loot everything for the sake of the video. And then you can come back in here. There's also a few more spawns. Back on this shelf, on this bed, on this shelf, and in here. Now, there's a rumor that these bags have a 1% spawn chance for Letixes, but I've never found it, and I've searched them hundreds of times. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much the black room run. As you can see, not too impressive, but hey, if you got it, may as well hit it for the extra chance of the stimulants, right? And that is black room. And we also covered the green card spawn there. Okay, guys, now we're moving on to another black key card spawn for you. What you want to do is walk up to this desk. The black key card will spawn right there. And then there's also the other black key card spawn, which is right here on this table as well. I have not found these this swipe, unfortunately, which is really unlucky. But those are the spawns for the black cards. There is also yellow key card spawn right here on the table. I found that pretty consistently. Now moving on to manager's office. This is where another green card can spawn for you guys. All you want to do is wrap around here. Green card will spawn right there, and there is also an intel spawn. Moving on now to another yellow card spawn for the labs. You want to come all along this desk, and the yellow card will spawn right here. I found this myself the other day as well. And the very last yellow key card spawn is right to the left of this laptop right there. That is also another yellow card spawn to make sure you keep your eye out for, and that is all the yellow spawns. We have one more green card spawn to cover on the map. And then that is pretty much it for all of the key card spawns, guys, for all laboratories. You can come on in. And the spawn is going to be right here next to the shelving unit. And there's also an intel, if you didn't know. And that is pretty much all of the rare key card spawns for labs. Now, let's quickly talk about Violet while we're here. Opening up Violet now. I rate this the third best key, in my opinion. Straight away, come on in. Horse. There's actually going to be some bugged hit Bitcoin spawns on the bottom of the shelf to check out for. There's going to be spawn here. Gold chains on top of the desk, roosters and stuff like that. Bunch of attachments on the shelves. Bitcoins can also spawn there as well. Dynamic loot spawn here. Dynamic loot spawn in the chair. Be mindful, power kills and stuff will spawn inside the chest, and make sure you take the time to look. Loot on the shelves. The best way to grab the loot on this shelf is crouch and press F at the same time, if you were curious. We've got some boxes here with rare loot as well. You can get some really good stuff sometimes. And attachments. Coming in, gold chain on the floor, and spawns on the shelf too. Wireless transmitters and RFI readers do still spawn here, but they're very, very rare. And that is pretty much the Violet room, guys. And yeah, that's pretty much the Violet room. Very good key. There's also another box out here that you can hit as well. I guess you could include this with Violet. Moving on to the red room now. The most overrated, probably the worst key in the game for its price. Come on in, straight away. Dynamic loot spawn there. Dynamic loot spawn here, and right there. There was a dynamic loot spawn here, but it's very bugged this wipe, so I wouldn't really count it. This is the arsenal storage key room, right here. As you can see, the attachments are pretty bad in here. Definitely not worth your money. BSG nerfed strength recently, so you're going to have to use the cabinet to jump up to loot the top row of the shelves. Occasionally, you can get some bitcoins and skulls and pro kills. And these are all the attachments that spawn on here. As you can see, they are very, very bad. The only good thing about this room is the dynamic loot spawns. There's also an intel spawn here as well that I forgot to mention. Okay, coming over to yellow room now. This is my second rated keycard for the map. Swipe the key. Come on in. Straight away, there's going to be the shelving units. You can occasionally get some stims on the floor. I never hit this, but if you're a min-maxer, definitely hit that. Get some extra rubble. Attachment spawns on the table, like so. Mentioned earlier about the scopes. There's going to be a dynamic loot spawn right here. And another one right there. There's your PC. And this is how you turn off the announcers for when you press this button here. There's also some sugar spawns on the back. And that is pretty much the yellow room, guys. So, we have covered all of these spawns for the laboratories for the keycards. And all of the loot spawns inside the room. So guys, we're moving on to the keycard spawns for red card now. Just to let you guys know, I've actually never found the red card spawns, but I'm going to show you all of them anyway for the sake of the video. Red card actually spawns underneath this ashtray right here. I've heard people say it's under this, but I'm pretty confident it's under this as I've never found it. But that is the spawn for the second red card. Okay, coming along on the second floor now, next to the hole in the floor. What you want to do is you want to come into 218, run along here like so, wrap around, and boom, on this table is the other red card spawn right there. So what you want to do is come down the staircase like so, wrap all the way around here, come all the way on the left, and there's going to be some lockers, and it spawns right there. That is the third spawn for red card. So guys, you can either use West 203 here or 205 behind this back cabinet. Want to come on in, look at this bed, and there'll be a red card spawn right there as well for you. So guys, the very last red card spawn will be in this room right here. We are currently unlocking 218. Want to come on in straight away. Look on the left. On this barrel will be the spawn for the red key card. And that is all of the red key card spawns on Shoreline and in the game. Now I know guys, there's other spawns like on the bosses and stuff, but this is for the static spawns. So guys, we're coming up on the room 112 here. I'm going to unlock this room, buy this key from the flea market. Come straight in. This is going to be the first blue keycard spawn right there, like so. And then just down the hallway to 104, there's also another blue keycard spawn in here as well. Come on straight in and then go straight to this desk. And the keycard spawn will be right there next to these documents. There's another blue card spawn. And then the very last spawn will be over here by the ambulance. And the very last blue keycard spawn is right here in the well of the door. And that is all of the spawns for Shoreline, for blue and red keycard. Okay guys, I also almost forgot to mention there's actually a new blue keycard spawn on Factory if you guys didn't know. Not many people know about this one as well. All you want to do is come on in, check right here on top of the spawn of this box, and there'll be a blue keycard spawn. And that is all of the spawns for the blue keycard, guys. So guys, we're coming up on the first violet keycard spawn. And these are all on woods. It will spawn right there on the chair. That is the first one. We're coming up on the second violet keycard spawn, guys, which is right here on the bed of the truck at the very back. I've actually found this keycard spawn myself. It spawns like right here, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's the weird part. Cult is just completely
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. And then the very last spawn is all the way over here in this little hut. Fortunately, they're all very, very close to each other, so you can check them very quickly. I feel like violet cards are very common, by the way. Very common. And the last violet keycard spawn is right here on the table. That is all of the keycard spawns, guys. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much concludes the full laboratories keycard guide and all of the spawns and stuff like that. I hope this video was helpful to you guys, as this video did take me a long time to make and edit for my editor. So if it did help you a lot, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That would help me out a ton. Come check us out on Twitch as well, as we stream every single day. I'm going to be working on more guides like this. If this video does well, then we're definitely be pushing more guides similar to this for other maps and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it, man. I hope this can really help you out with all the tips and tricks that I gave you. Labs is a pretty daunting map, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys have an amazing evening.